Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Wine. Welcome back to art class. Today we will be blending our background colors for our New York City silhouette paintings. So before we get started, there are a few vocabulary words that we need to go over. The first vocabulary word I have is the word tint. So today you're going to be choosing two colors. And a tint is what you get when you take white and you mix it with a color. It gives you a lighter color. So a tint of red is called pink. So today on your paper, you're going to be choosing two colors, and you're going to get those two colors plus white. Now, the reason we are choosing two colors is when we're using those colors, we're going to be learning how to create a gradation of color. A gradation of color means I'm going to be blending from one color smoothly into the other color. So today I'm going to be showing you how to do that. The first thing you will need to decide is you will need to decide a couple of color combinations that you think would work for your cityscape. I have given you some choices that I think would make for interesting skies. Yellow and orange and red and violet, or violet and blue. You're going to get a chance to practice two different combinations. What I want you to think about when you're choosing your colors is how would the warm, bright yellow and orange make you feel versus how would the darker blues and violets make you feel about the city. Once you have made your color choices, you're ready to begin. You need a white sheet of paper. Today we're working with a half sheet. And you need to make sure that you have your name and class on the back in the middle. Now, when you're creating a gradation of color, I think it's always easiest to start with the color that is lightest in value. So when I'm looking at red and violet, I know that red is the color that has the lightest value. So that's what I'm going to start with. And today when we're creating our gradations, we're going to be blending those tints of colors right on our paper. So I'm using a wide, flat brush, and I'm just going to start with some red, and I'm going to make some nice long streaks of red across my paper. And then I want to get that white, and I'm going to mix that white right into it. It's okay if the color doesn't mix completely, because I could have a few little white clouds floating by. It is important that I make my strokes horizontally across the page, because when I think of the sky and clouds, I think of marks that go horizontal, not up and down. Now, to create a gradation, I have to work pretty quickly. And notice I'm just adding the white, adding the red, and I'm going edge to edge on my paper. Once I get about halfway down, then I'm ready to start introducing my second color. And this is where it gets really tricky. I'm going to take just a tiny bit of purple. I just picked a tiny bit up off my plate, and I'm going to start to add that purple in with my red. And again, it doesn't matter which two colors you're doing. You're just picking up a little bit of that darker value. I always say start with a little, because it's always easier to go back and add it in than it is to take it out. And then I could do just a little bit more red and a little more purple. And a little more purple. I have to be careful. I can't go back up into the part that's already started to dry. So it's important that I do a good job mixing it while it's wet and as I work my way down the page. And then when I get to the bottom, I'm probably using, just that last color. Now notice I sort of save myself one little corner to hold on to. Most of you are right-handed, so you probably want to save yourself that last little corner to hold on to. And then at the very last second, you can just pick it up. If you end up with a tiny bit of paint on your hands, that'll be okay. What you're really working for is just a smooth change in value, a smooth gradation, moving from one color to another. And remember, this week is all about practice. Sometimes it takes doing this a couple times before you get good at it, which is why we practice. Once you're all finished, we will be giving directions for cleanup. And you will be moving from one practice paper to a second one. So you'll have that chance again to try out 2 different color combinations. I hope you had a wonderful time today learning how to create tints and gradations of color. And until next time, keep on creating.